Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You join me today on this fine sunny day, on the first day of my Scotland tour. I can't tell you how good it feels to have the bike packed up, the tent on the back, knowing that I'm on no time schedule. I can do whatever I want within the next week. So if you're interested to see what we get up to, stay tuned. But before we do, roll them credits. Okay, welcome back. So I've just made my way up from my home near Kelso up to Kinross. I've just come through Kinross and now I've jumped onto the start of the Heart 200 Scotland route. I'm going to be doing it in two halves, so this is the half that I am doing today. And as you can see, I have a campsite booked at Killin, so that is my destination for today. So hopefully I'm going to get some great footage over the next week. Hopefully the weather holds up. Knowing my luck, it will change and rain the whole way. That's what normally happens on my tours. But we'll wait and see anyway. So I had actually planned to come away a few days earlier. However, a few things transpired that delayed me. First of all, I had my COVID vaccine. I'm very grateful for that, but wow, please don't let this put you off, because I think it's very important that everybody should have it. I had the Pfizer vaccine, and the day I had it, absolutely no symptoms or problems whatsoever. But the day after, wow, I felt like an old man. Even my fingers hurt. On the day after, I had to go to Barnard Castle, roughly about a 2.5 hour, 3 hour journey from my house. I rode there and then rode straight back, and when I got back, oh my word, I was in agony. I've never known anything like it. I felt absolutely terrible, but I'm glad to say it only lasted for 24 hours, and I felt fine after that. And that sort of put me into the weekend then. I didn't really want to come away at the weekend, so I stayed at home. I also had quite a bit of paperwork to do. I'm changing my job, or I'm in the process of changing my job, going from one lovely place which I used to work in Iraq to another lovely place to go and work, Afghanistan. So there's a lot of paperwork, a lot of security checks that you have to go through when you take these kind of roles up. So I spent most of the weekend on the computer doing that. I also did a tent review, which I think should be up on the channel by now. So if you're into your motorbike touring and you're wondering what kind of tent to take and what works best, you might find it helpful. So go on the channel and take a little look. I review 2 tents that I use, so you know, that may be helpful for you. Wow, look at this, everybody. Absolutely amazing. I've never done this route before, the Heart 200. I've heard lots about it, so let's see if it lives up to its reputation. And I can truly say that at the moment, it speaks for itself. It's truly living up to its reputation. Not just of the scenery, but the roads are fantastic as well. It's like one chicane after another. Fantastic. So I've been waiting quite a while to be able to get out and do a long tour like this. My original plan was to do the northeast coast, jump over onto this one, the Heart, which is sort of central Scotland, then jump over to the west coast and do the North Coast 500. However, as I said, with this new job coming up, it's changed my time scale of how I can do things. So hopefully this week I will get the Heart 200 done and the North East Coast 250 done. As soon as I finish this Heart 200, I'll jump straight over onto that, and then hopefully I should be able to get the 2 done back to back on this one tour. So I'll upload them as separate videos, so keep an eye out for the North East Coast 250, should I say. Keep an eye out for that coming up onto the channel next. Also, I'm hoping next week or the week after I may be able to squeeze in 4 or 5 days to get up on the west coast and do a little bit of the North Coast 500 as well. So lots to look forward to. Let's just hope that this glorious weather stays with us and we don't get the normal British rain. Well, I have to say, some of the roads around here are just absolutely stunning. I mean, just look at the countryside. Got these lovely shaded, it's almost like making an archway of the foliage. It's absolutely stunning. Everywhere you look, it's just a feast for the eyes. I've actually I put all the locations in on the Heart 200. However, I've got my sat-nav on the twisty routes setting for motorcycles, so it's not taking me on the actual A roads. If you do a Google search for the Heart 200, it will show you the roads, and most of them are A roads. And I'm doing that route with the locations. However, my sat nav is set to twisty, so it's taking me down all these back country lanes, and it's just amazing. We're heading out towards Crieff at the moment. I think really I should have memorised the route, but I didn't plan it until this morning. I should have done it last night and memorised the route, but you know it is when you're packing to come away, there's never enough hours in the day. So I got up this morning, just got on the laptop, programmed all the locations into the sat nav, and boom, away I went. Anyway, back in a bit. Well, it was quite an eye-opener last night. I was packing the bike how I normally pack. Now, I've had to bring quite a lot of stuff because although it's the beginning of June, it's still quite cold at night, and obviously the further north you go, the worse it's going to get. So I have had to put some warm weather gear in for camping. You know, normally I would take a really small sleeping bag, but I've had to take a lot bigger sleeping bag, and that's filling nearly one pannier, believe it or not. But the other thing that's been a real eye-opener is that I didn't realise just how much camera kit I have. Obviously with doing short day journeys, I only need to take the cameras and a few batteries in my pocket. But we're going on a week-long tour. I've got my drone, my Insta360, my Hero 8 camera, my Hero Session 5, and then I've got all the ancillaries that go with them, all the spare batteries and chargers. And then on top of that, I also have my tablet, hard drive, because obviously I'm going to have to download the footage off the memory cards every night. So the top box is basically full of tech. And normally I would have the top box pretty much empty as an overflow box, so I could move things around and shuffle things around on the go. But yeah, so I am absolutely loaded up. I've got a bag on the back seat, I don't know if you can see it, with all the camping gear in. I've got one pannier that is just for clothes, and then another pannier that's got a little bit of everything, a little bit of camping gear, food, just so that I'm self-contained. So yeah, the bike's really loaded up, but I have to say, with this 15 tooth front sprocket upgrade that I've done, it hasn't batted an eyelid. You know, it hasn't been bogged down. I can't tell any difference in acceleration, even carrying all this weight. So once again, the Benelli TRK, what an amazing bike for the money you pay. I have absolutely no idea what to expect from this journey. Nearly all the locations that we're going to are all new to me. I've never been there before, so I'll just have to wait and see what the trip brings. Up to yet, the roads that I'm on are quite attention demanding. You can't afford to take your eyes off the road for 2 minutes. They're up, down, left, right, blind bends, tightening bends, oh my word. But it's really, really enjoyable. Anyway, back in a few moments. Okay everybody, so we're just coming through Comrie. Seems like a nice little place, very busy. That's one of the things I love, going on tours where you've never been before. You never know what little jewel in the crown you're going to find. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love doing tours that I'm well conversed with. You know, like the North Coast 500, you absolutely know what to expect, you know where the sites are. And you know, you do get that ultimate excitement when you come down a stretch of road and you think to yourself, yeah, I know what's at the end of here. It's absolutely amazing. But on routes like this, you know, where you've never been to before, it's just as exciting, because you never know, you never ever know what is at the end of the road. Well folks, my sat nav is doing my head in. When I pre-planned this route, I tried to be clever, and instead of just putting the direct route in, I put it on twisty and windy for motorbikes. I've just got into Crieff, and I've just spent the last 20 minutes riding round in circles in Crieff because the sat-nav couldn't make its mind up which way to go. So I'm definitely going to have a look at the settings on the sat-nav for tomorrow's route, because that was just absolutely mental. A bit like this road, absolutely mental. Just look at it, ladies and gentlemen. It is stunning. One of the problems is that when you get a road like this, you're concentrating so much on the road, plus just being so awestruck by your surroundings. You just don't know what to say. You know, you can't keep repeating yourself, saying, oh my goodness, look at this road, how fantastic it is. It's one of those things. But hey, there are worse things in this world to worry about. Well, I have to say, it's getting a bit blustery up here. I do apologise if the audio is affected. I had a comment on the channel a couple of days ago, and it was one of those comments where it was just, you know, 2 sentences: your audio sucks, get a better mic. Now, as I've said, you know, I don't mind anybody giving constructive criticism, but you know, take a look at the channel as a whole. Just don't watch 3 minutes of one video, because it may be a video that I put up right at the beginning, and as I explained to the guy, you know, when you start doing this moto vlogging thing, it's not a cheap thing to set out to do because the equipment is very expensive, and two, unless you actually got some qualification in media studies or photography or filmmaking or whatever, you haven't really got a clue what you're doing, or at least I didn't when I first started. So, you know, I look on some of these channels, especially channels that are quite new, and some of the comments that people leave on them, you know, I think, why do you do it? Everybody has to start off somewhere, and obviously the very first videos that you make most probably won't be very good. I mean, mine still aren't very good, but you know, to get to the point of the sort of production I get with my videos now, I've spent quite a bit of money on equipment, and I just wasn't willing to pay that money when I very first started, because one, I didn't really think that I would take it up as a serious hobby. It was just you know, just something to stick on the bike and record days out. I had no thought of making YouTube videos at that point when I first bought the kit. So, you know, guys and girls, when you're watching people's channels, try and be a bit more polite and a bit more supportive, because I know the amount of work that goes into making a 20-minute video, and believe me, it's not just strapping all the cameras onto the bike, making sure that all the angles are right, making sure that you've got all the batteries, planning the route, thinking about what you're going to be talking about. You know, there's all that planning that goes into it, but there's all the post-production as well. You know, to edit a 20 to 30 minute video, if you've got 3 cameras rolling, it can take 4 or 5 hours, believe it or not. Well, so far the weather has been absolutely glorious. We've had no rain whatsoever, and although it's overcast, we have had some blue skies, so the temperature hasn't been too hot. It hasn't been too uncomfortable riding on the bike for this long journey. So far we've covered 168 miles. Had a little moment where the bike was playing up. Pulled over into a lay-by and it was searching on the revs, as though it wasn't fueling right, and then it cut out completely. Just on the A9, got back on the dual carriageway, opened it up, got to about 50-60 mile an hour, and again it just didn't feel as though it was fueling right. Come off the A9, come to a junction, and it stalled, and I thought, oh no, here we go. So started it up again. I had to give it a lot of revs to be able to pull off, because it was a hill start on an incline, and then all of a sudden it just cleared. So I'm wondering, I'm suspecting perhaps contaminated fuel, dirty fuel. It seems absolutely fine now. It only happened over a brief period of about 5 minutes, so fingers crossed that's all it was. Well, this is a nice little village. I have absolutely no idea where I am. So we're on our way to Arborfoil, and then after Arborfoil it's not too far to Killing, where my campsite has been booked. So we're only 9 miles away from Arborfoil at the moment, folks. Wow, I can't tell you how my heart sank when my bike started playing up. This Benelli, it's never missed a beat since I've had it. So for that little episode where it was spluttering and searching for revs, oh my word, my heart was in my mouth. I was thinking, oh no, have I been tempting fate? I keep doing all these videos where I say what a fantastic bike it is, and now it's going to let me down. But I honestly think that it was just bad fuel, or you know, a jet blocked, because it's absolutely fine now, no problem whatsoever, thank goodness. I've been looking at all the reviews, and I'm on the Facebook page for a UK Benelli TRK touring page. Hi to everybody who's on there at the moment, hope you're all enjoying the videos. There's also some international ones as well that I frequent on Facebook, and I have to say that most of the reports that you get back from the bikes and the owners are quite favourable, so it's not just me who's having a really good time with this bike. Quite a lot of other people who are buying these bikes are realising just how good value they are for money, you know, performance wise and reliability wise. You know, because the Chinese, you get so many people commenting on them, oh, I wouldn't touch it with a barge pole, but you know, the proof is in the pudding. If you go on these websites and you look at the people who actually own them and the experience that they're getting with the bikes, you know, they're really closing the gap now, the Chinese are. Well, further north that I'm going, the countryside is just getting better and better. The roads are getting better and better, less traffic. Highly recommend doing this Heart 200 run, highly recommend it. So I was quite surprised at availability for camping. I only booked the campsite last night. I've only booked one. I haven't bothered with any of the others, any of the other nights. I booked it today because I wasn't sure what the availability was going to be like. I didn't know how many were actually open because of the COVID-19 thing. I know that the restrictions have lifted now, but I wasn't sure how many had closed and just weren't going open back up again. And I wasn't sure what the availability was going to be like, because you read in the newspapers and you see on the news, not that you can believe anything you read or hear on the news, you know, about people putting the prices up threefold and everywhere sold out because everybody's doing staycations because they can't fly. So I did a quick internet search, campsites in this area just for one person in a two-man tent, and you know, there were quite a few. I had a choice of about 8 different campsites. So obviously I've booked for tonight, but I'm not going to bother for the rest of the days. I'm just going to head out, and then when I get close to wanting to lay my weary head down, I will have a quick look on the internet, see what's close by, and I will either camp or I will use a B&B depending on what the weather is like. Well, that's a nice car. Oh wow, look at this now. This is why I ride motorcycles. You just never know what you're going to see as you come around the corner. How cool is that? Just look at it. Yeah, definitely nothing wrong with the old Benelli now, picking up like a dream. Better calm down a bit. I mean, it's about the same weight as a tank with all this kit I've got with me today. I think I brought everything except the kitchen sink. One of the first videos I made was what to take on tour and all the pitfalls and don't take too much. I've just thrown that video straight out the window. I've got everything with me on this trip. So it just shows no matter how long you're in this game, you still make the same mistakes over and over. I can guarantee you, I know myself, I'm that stupid that I've packed it all, even when I know that I'll guarantee at the end of this trip I won't have used all of it. I'll guarantee it. But you just get that OCD, oh well I might need this, oh well I might need that. Okay, the Trossachs Trail. Orberfoyle 1 mile. Well, I've just had to switch the camera back on because just look at this road. Absolutely stunning. I'm still on Tangerine though about the bike. It's really thrown me having that little episode of those revs. You know, when something just doesn't sit right with you, and you're listening to every single pitch of the engine and listening for any rattles and, you know, any vibrations of the bike acting differently than it normally does. And I'm driving a little bit more tentatively than I normally would because of it. Try not to let it spoil the ride, but I don't know, it's just because the bike has been so ultra reliable up to yet. It's just unnerved me a little bit, should we say. Oh, this is a nice bend. Look at the camber on that. Beautiful. So we're on the A81 at the moment. I don't know if this is part of the Heart 200 or not, because my sat-nav seems to be doing its own thing. I'm going to give it a good talking to when we get to the campsite. You will go where I program you to go. Absolutely stunning though this journey has been. You know, it makes me laugh when I think about it. You know, we've got used to these modern bikes just being so ultra reliable, and back in the day when I first started out, I used to have scooters. I was a mad mod, and none of us had got any money for new scooters. We used to just buy the cheapest things we could get, and we'd make engines up out of parts. I mean, I think the first 200cc engine that I had in my scooter, even the engine casings were from different engines. And you know, we'd go on rallies, we weren't into AA. Half the time we didn't even have a backup van. Well, in fact, we never had a backup van in our club because we couldn't afford to rent one, and we didn't know anybody who'd got a van. So, you know, we'd just go out, and you'd go away for a bank holiday weekend, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, come back Monday, and you would take literally absolutely hardly any clothes. Your bag would just be full of parts because you knew you were going to break down that many times. And you know, I would think nothing of having a bag with a spare crank-in, a spare piston rings, clutches. I used to take a spare clutch, you name it, literally half an engine. And you'd think nothing, just sitting at the side of the road and rebuilding an engine. Absolutely mental. And here I am now panicking and worrying just because the bike was searching for revs for a couple of minutes. Oh, how times change. Well, I've just pulled over at the side of the road. This is Loch Lubnaig. Absolutely stunning place. Out in the canoe. Just look at that, everybody. Absolutely amazing. Okay, well, I reckon I'm about half an hour away from my campsite, if I can find it. Done 195 miles so far, and I do not feel as though I have done that amount of miles, which is a testament to this bike. So comfy and easy to ride, even loaded up with all this weight. Ah, what's this coming up to here? This looks like my campsite. It's just about to turn the camera off then as well. This is the one. Happy days. So here we are, guys. What a cracking little place. Over there is the shower block and toilets. Nice smell of wood smoke coming from over there, a little fire. Keep the mozzies away. Absolutely stunning. Really, really pleased with this place. £15 a night. Not too bad at all. Well, hope Benelli's done well. So time to get the tent up. Back soon.